Okay, so it's Halloween, and I really want to make a Halloween themed video that isn't about Squid Ferrato. So today we are ranking every Spongebob Halloween themed episode.
Hey!
So it's kind of difficult to define what is a Halloween themed episode with SpongeBob, or probably it isn't difficult at all, but I had some problems about what episodes should be qualified for this list. Like, obviously, episodes like Scaredy Pants and Legend of Bikini Bottom are Halloween episodes, but what about Planet of the Jellyfish? What about Rock Bottom? My point is, there might be some weird picks here, but I just tried to narrow down the best I could and have 15 episodes. So, starting with number 15 is A Cabin in the Kelp. This episode is ass. It ain't that bad, but it's just not enjoyable at all. The whole gal pal thing is a terrible idea. Not because these girl characters can't carry an episode on their own, but because they are not allowed to. They have had 2 episodes, and in both SpongeBob has been shoehorned in because he has to be in every episode, so yeah, it's just boring. And at number 14, we have Squid Ferrato. This episode should be in last place, bro. It was so bad. But at the same time, it wasn't that bad. Most problems I had with it is just stuff that is present in most modern episodes, but it just felt like everything bad was amplified, or whatever that word is, to like 1,000 here. The episode had good visuals, and like 2 scenes out of 200 actually had a good tone. Now, Nosferatu being on screen for 14 minutes was not a good idea, but at least that means they are probably done milking his character now. Since, they have ruined his character. Not that he was a character from the beginning, but anyway, let's just move on. I don't want to talk about this episode. I put Slappy Days at 13, but this episode could go below Squid Ferrato as well. It could really go either way. At least this one was like half the length of Squid Ferrato. It's just Slappy walking around the town doing random stuff and being a bit creepy. I don't care. At number 12 we have The Curse of Bikini Bottom. This episode is really forgettable. SpongeBob and Patrick get turned into ghosts by the Flying Dutchman, and that's about it. They go scare Squidward or something. It's fine, but nothing special, despite the concept being very interesting. They don't do much with it. I don't hate it though. At number 11 we have The Night Patty. This is a nice sequel episode to Graveyard Shift if you try to not look too deep into it. Unlike Squid Ferrato, Nosferatu isn't milked too much here, but I still don't get why he would need to be brought back as anything more than a one-off gag, since being a one-off gag is why he worked in the first place. But the episode itself is entertaining, and I like a lot of the visuals here. A lot of the character designs are really good. At number 10 we have The Legend of Bikini Bottom. This episode has nice visuals. That's about it. Do I think it's overrated? Yes. Do I dislike it? Nah. It's fine. Number 9 is Ghoulfuls. People don't like this one, and I kind of don't get why. It's an eventful special with lore, and that ending is one of the best endings in the entire show. It's so disturbing and just interesting with the ghost dimension and everything. I like it. At number 8 we have Krabby Patty Creature Feature. This is one of the darkest SpongeBob episodes ever, and one of the better episodes in season 12. The vibe is on point, and I really like the plot. Number 7? I think that should be right. Wait, 10, 9, 8, yeah. 7 is... Oh, how do you pronounce this? Seans Smeans. Whatever, I like the visuals in this episode, and the plot is actually very interesting. It feels like a fresh episode concept, and a really creative one. Now, the episode isn't the funniest, and it can come off as a bit boring at parts, but it's still decent for me. Number 6 is The Ghost of Plankton. This is an episode I tend to forget about, but it is a really strong episode for season 12 and a really intriguing episode. Plankton actually dies in this episode, which is really disturbing by the way, and him learning how to haunt people and how to live as a ghost from the Dutchman is a lot of fun. Now, I feel bad for Squidward, and it's annoying that it's him that has to be tormented here. It should have been Krabs, since that would actually make a lot of sense for Plankton to haunt him. Plankton and Squidward got no connection with each other, they barely even speak in the whole show. But I guess it's a good enough episode still, but it just kind of bothers me. Kicking off the top 5, we have Don't Look Now. One of my favorites from 9A. Don't Look Now gets the horror vibe done right, and for once it's Squidward tormenting Spongebob and Patrick, and not the other way around. It's better than its sister episode, Sean Schmeans, but that Halloween pairing with those two episodes might be my favorite in season 9. Don't Look Now is a good episode. At number 4 we have I Was a Teenage Gary. One of the worst pre-movie episodes, but in my opinion, the worst of pre-movie is still good. Now, I feel bad for Gary here, and that is the main reason it's bad for pre-movie standards, but I would be lying if I said this didn't fit the Halloween theme perfectly. It's a eerie episode, and the tone of it is one of its strongest parts. The ending alone should be enough of a motivation for it being in the top 5 here. Number 3 is Squidward in Clarinetland. I think the start of the episode is slow and it takes a bit too long for Squidward to get into the safe, but once Squidward ends up in Clarinetland, it's really all great stuff. This episode is legitimately creepy and a really entertaining watch, and just something different from Spongebob, until they copied it with Randomland, which is a significantly worse episodes. The second best Spongebob Halloween themed episode is Scaredy Pants. The first Halloween episode of the show and probably the most iconic. I love the feeling of the whole episode, and it's a season 1 episode, so of course the vibes are gonna be immaculate. Patrick and Spongebob going around trying to scare people is exactly what I picture a Spongebob Halloween episode to be like, and it's a really just feel-good vibe episode. The best Spongebob Halloween episode is Graveyard Shift. This is the best horror Halloween themed episode of the show and in my top 3 episodes of the entire show. The first half is just fun all the way through, and then as soon as they do that little weird fake out ending and the second half kicks off, we have creepiness all the way until the end. What makes Graveyard Shift stand apart from something like Bikini Bottom or the 2 Nosferatu sequel episodes is that this episode is actually really funny. It's a fantastic episode and a perfect watch for Halloween in my opinion. So that's my list. Like I said, I probably missed some episodes, just off the top of my head. I think Shanghai could have been on this list, but I didn't know what to take off for it. So, yeah, thanks for watching.